Cheap and Cheerful, and today it's fans. Yes, it's a mega review where I buy a bunch of stuff, give it a right proper test, and tell you which ones are worth your money and which ones kind of suck. And this time, I may have went a bit overboard. Honestly, when the postman dumped this at my door, I felt slightly intimidated and wondered what the heck I'd gotten myself into. Given the cost of all these fans and the tiny size of my channel, I asked AliExpress if they'd be willing to cover the tab, and they did, saving me a couple of $100 Aussie, so thank you to AliExpress for sponsoring this video. As in all my mega reviews, I'm doing this properly, with every single one rated for how far it blows, the width and even the wind speed, then the noise, the quality, the special features, and then I'll give it an overall score so you know what's worth your money and what's not. Then, after I've done all the usual tests, we'll have a battle to the death, where it's every fan for itself, running at the same time to see which one's the last fan standing. So once they arrived, I began unpacking all the fans and charging them up to 100%, totally not a fire hazard. Luckily, we've had a bit of a mini heat wave here in Melbourne, Australia, so I could test them in a fairly warm conditions over several weeks, getting to know their quirks and features. First up, the 3-in-1 portable air conditioner. You've probably seen this around, and to say I had low expectations of this unit, mate, I had really low expectations. Given they're selling these for $5 Aussie, $3 US posted.
You serious?
Link is in the description for this and everything I check out today. Now, the model I bought does not come with a battery. It's powered directly by USB, but there are a few models with a battery for only a few bucks more. Now, obviously, this thing is made of old plastic bags and recycled Happy Meal toys, so I thought I'd hate it, but honestly, it's kind of grown on me. When I first opened it, the front was unclipped and the fan blade wasn't pushed on. Geez, some kid's going to get fired over that bungle. Never mind, it was easy to clip on, and the fact you can remove the front to clean it out is pretty cool. The fact you can remove the front... and I totally didn't just break the clip when I tried to take it apart. Now, what attracted me to this fan was all this gear up the top. It has an array of 5 ultrasonic misters that can be individually controlled by a button at the front, so you can run all of them, just a few, or none at all. There's a water storage tank at the top and an LED inside there with a huge selection of colours. Now, I'm not usually an RGB fan, but I took a fancy to one of those colours as it reminded me of a blue Gatorade or a blue Powerade, whichever you prefer. On to the test results, and I scored the blow factor at an average of B with a range of 2 meters, which is okay, a width of 35 centimeters, which is unusually wide, and a strength of 12 kilometers an hour or 7.4 miles an hour. Pretty decent, but nothing flash. Testing for noise, it's 51 decibels at 1 meter. It's loud compared to the others, so I'm giving it a C. The only real hang-up I have is the lid, which doesn't fit securely. The mister works really well, but it does like to pull water across the front here. Overall for the quality, B, C. It's cheap quality, but it's tough, so how do I rate that? Comment below if you've got some opinions. The price, $5, it's crazy cheap, no question, A. As for special features, it's got a ton. The 5 misters, the water tank, the color modes with 3 different timers. It's got the most features I've seen on any other fan, so that's an A. Overall score, look, for techies who love cheap gadgets and all these parts for $5, I'd give it an A. But as for a fan, for a regular consumer, let's go with a B. So this is the Kinscoter portable desktop fan. It's one of the 3 Kinscoter fans I'm looking at today, which was entirely unintentional. But after so many cheapies, this one's actually quite good. And it's still inexpensive. It puts out an impressive amount of air. I measured up to 2.8 meters, the furthest so far, with a 30 centimeter width at 1 meter and a strength of 18.5 kilometers an hour or 11.5 miles an hour, an easy A. But best of all, it's quiet. At its highest setting, it's barely 47 decibels, and on low, you can barely hear anything. A. The quality is an obvious leap up from everything else we've tested. You can just tell it's more premium from the feel of the plastic and the overall look, definitely an A. And it didn't cost much more. It was $20 Aussie or $12 US, typical AliExpress cheap, but good. I'll give it a B. There's not too much in the way of special features other than it comes ready to hook up on a wall, it tilts up and down, and it's got a Type-C plug, right on the bottom here, with a 2000 milliamp battery built in, so I'll give it a C. Overall score, I really like this. It's cheap, it's good, it puts out heaps of air, it's quiet, easily an A. We'll see how it goes on the battery test, but I really like this one. Link is in the description if you're interested. I didn't intentionally buy 3 of this brand to promote them, and I can prove it because I don't like this fan. Wait. After filming the review and editing and everything, I discovered this crazy hidden feature or poorly documented feature in this thing that completely changes my perspective on it. I'll tell you about it in a moment in the special features section. It's got one main issue and a bit of an identity crisis.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. What?
So first off, many stores are selling this, trying to jump on the mini jet blower craze by advertising it as if it were a jet blower, like this. But it's not a jet blower fan.
Nope.
Yes, it does have a brushless motor and it puts out a ton of air, pushing 3 meters range, which is huge for a little handheld like this. Top speed of 27 kilometers an hour or 17 miles an hour, so it's an easy A for air power. But without any attachments on the front to direct the flow, it's not going to be very good at tidying up or really any of the typical reasons you'd want a jet blower for. And that small, super fast turbine generates a whole lot of noise, 60 decibels at 1 meter. It's a C for noise. Quality-wise, it's the same as the other Kinscoter products. It's very well made. It's got a solid weight to it. An A for quality. The price on this wasn't too bad either, $25 Australian or 18 US, which would be a great price if the overall solution was good, but with the noise and the whine, B. As for special features, it's got a nicely detailed LCD on the front. It takes a Type-C. It's got a wrist strap. Plus, on the side, it's got this adjustable roller, so you can dial in the exact speed that you want. Okay, so hidden feature which blew my mind. If you hold down the power button while turning it on, it flashes up CO and wait about 20 seconds. Can you see it? It's getting so cold that condensation is forming on the top. 4 degrees. So because of the emissivity, the shininess of this, it's very hard to get an exact temperature reading. But it went down to 4 degrees Celsius. I'll put the Fahrenheit up there. It's got a built-in thermoelectric cooler, otherwise known as a Peltier device, which uses electricity, no moving parts, to create either hot or cold. The idea is on a hot day, you can just apply it on your skin and it is really cold. It is freezing and it'll give you an extra cooling effect. How sweet is that? And honestly, I'd plan to give this a C purely because it's too noisy to use in public as just a fan to blow on you. But this is silent. This is completely silent cooling element. Plus, if you don't give a stuff about the people around you, you can crank this up to 11 and blast the air out at full speed with that cooling element on there, and that's surely going to cool you down fast. It's exactly these kinds of surprises and innovation that makes me love browsing and shopping on AliExpress. They're not paying me to say that. I just like looking at it because of all the weird things you get. Even after you've bought them, you'll find things that you just didn't expect. So, bugger the C, it's worth at least a B+, maybe even an A. Quality, the airflow, the features, the price is good. Link is in the description if you're interested. So the Haoyunma ZH13, this unit is less than half the price than the other one. A great little handheld personal cooler, and for extra points, even my wife likes it.
Whoop-de-doo.
Pushes out a good amount of air to 2.5 meters with a 30 centimeter width at 1 meter, which is just right, so I'm giving it an A. More importantly, it does that at an incredible 43 decibels. Super quiet, another A. As for quality, it feels almost as good as the Kinscoter, but not quite. I'll give it a B, good. As for price, that's the best part. I picked this up for only $10 Australian or $6 US, so that's an easy A for me. As for special features, it's fairly simple with an LCD readout on the front showing the power level, but it also shows the battery level when you're charging, which is nice, and it has a Type-C. They also include this little holder, so you can sit it upright, which I assumed would be pointless, but it's actually really handy to convert it to a desk fan. I've just had it on my shelf blowing away while I work, and it's doing a great job while being nice and quiet. So that's an A for special features. Overall score, look, I was really impressed with this one. It's cheap, it puts out plenty of air, it's well made, and it's quiet. This is looking like an easy A, subject to the results of the battery test, which we'll do at the end of the video. Link is in the description for this one. Moving on, I have a second portable air cooler as a comparison. which is really hard to open. Up the top here, totally different design. Much smaller, sort of better quality, though also quite a lot more expensive. I paid 24 bucks Australian for this one, or 15 US, which could have got me like 5 of the other fans. On the top is room for water, and inside there's a single, larger ultrasonic mister, which I guess is pointing downwards, so the mist comes out directly at the fan and gets dispersed. Positive to this is there's much less drips and condensation, and even if there are drips, they've kindly added a small sponge at the bottom to capture it, which is totally not going to become overgrown with mold, allowing the fan to pick up the mold spores and blow them all around your house. Sweet. Now, the real problem is, because the mist is immediately dispersed in the air, you just can't see it, which means you can't play with it and say things like, wow, it's all misty, which kind of takes away half the fun, at least from my perspective. Moving on to the testing, blow factor scores a C, unfortunately, as while it's got an impressive range of 2.5 meters at 11 kilometers an hour, it's such a small fan, so the curtain of air is very narrow, so it just doesn't feel like it's throwing all that much air at you. Interestingly, it's less noisy in decibels compared to the larger unit, but in practical experience, the smaller fan makes a higher pitched noise. B. As for build quality, I feel like if I drop this unit, it might crack into 2 pieces. C. Onto price, well, clearly I paid way too much for this at 25 Australian or 15 bucks US, but you could probably get it cheaper. D. Special features, well, it does have these nice vents on the front, which you can angle as you like. It has a built-in rechargeable battery, but it's got the dreaded micro USB, which is, the mister function is a good idea, but I just how it's implemented. B. Final score, I'm going to have to be harsh with this one. D. Not recommended. Next up, the clip-on fan, and as the marketing says, quiet gale can blow all day.
I'll take it.
So I was expecting this one to be rubbish too, but no, it actually turned out to be good. So good it's made me consider whether I should replace my regular Xiaomi and JisuLife fans, ones I've been using for 4 or 5 years now, with one of these because it just works that well. But there is a catch on this, and we'll get onto that in just a second. Test results, first off, it does blow really well with a 2.7 meter range and a nice wide beam, 35 centimeters, hitting 19 kilometers an hour or 12 miles an hour. I'm giving this an A. At the highest speed setting, getting quite noisy at 53 decibels, though at lower speeds it's much less noisy. B. Now onto the main issue. It doesn't come with a battery, and in fact it has room in the back for an 18650 battery not included, which from the perspective of a technical person like me and a fair chunk of my audience, it's probably a good thing as we've got a bunch of those batteries lying around and we can change them out whenever. But for a regular consumer, it's a big downside because they hold a huge amount of angry pixies inside that are just busting for a fight. So I just put one of my used 18650s in the back. We'll see how well the fan uses it in the battery battle later in the video. As for quality, it's fine. Nothing special. The only area that concerns me is that plastic clip, as the spring is quite strong, and I think if you're using it every day, you might eventually break through that plastic, but if you're just moving it occasionally, you'll be fine, so I'll give it a B. Price, 10 bucks Australian or $6.40 US. B. As for special features, in fact, you can take an 18650 or run it on USB, clip it anywhere you want. I'll give it a B. Overall score, it's not a bad, cheap little fan. I quite like it. So for technically minded people like myself, it's an easy B, but for the average consumer, yeah, it's probably more like a C. So we'll give it a BC. Link is in the description if you're interested. Okay, so another larger model, the NewStyle X8 desktop circulation fan. This unit, straight out of the box, peeved me off because the product image promised a large LCD display on the front. Nice. But when I turned it on for the first time, it has the same little display as the handheld units. Now, I'm sure I could get a refund if I really wanted, since it's a choice product and all choice products have free returns, even to China, but I can live with it. Putting that aside, this is a good little unit. Turning it on, it's got an impressive airflow, 3.3 meters range, very strong 19 kilometers an hour or 12 miles an hour with a nice wide 35 centimeter width at 1 meter. That's easily an A. As for the noise, 50 decibels at 1 meter, so it's a little bit noisy, but given the amount of air pushing out, that's acceptable. B. As for quality, I was going to give it an A as the overall build quality is good, but the print on the front of the buttons is way out of alignment, which really takes away from any premium feel. And also the shiny surface keeps fingerprints and gets scratched easily, so that's a B. As for the price, I paid just $19 Australian or $12 US for this, which for a larger unit of good quality, high output, I thought that was pretty impressive. A. Special features, it's got a built-in night light. If you hold down this button, which is nice, it's a Type C at the back here. You can go up and down. There's 4 predefined power levels. You can also hold down that button to get exactly what you want, which is pretty cool. So that's a B. Overall, it really depends on the battery with this one, as it's suspiciously cheap for the great airflow, quality and features, $12 US. So long as the battery's decent, I'll give it a B. Next up is this copy of a Xiaomi desktop flat fan. This is the style of fan I've been using myself for the last 4 years. First with this JisuLife, and more recently with this genuine Xiaomi version I picked up at a Xiaomi retail store overseas. I can fully recommend both these models, the JisuLife and the Xiaomi. I'll include them in the ratings chart so you can see all the scores, but they're quiet, they're well made, good output for a small desktop fan, and that's why I picked up this no-name clone. It adds an LCD display, and I had high hopes for it, especially with the many good reviews and 4.7 score on AliExpress, but unfortunately it seems I got a dodgy one, which we'll cover in a second. So in terms of airflow, it's a good fan. It blows the same as my JisuLife, the same distance, speed and width, which is good. I can give it a B. But it's the noise that's the problem with this specific unit, not the decibels. Technically, this is a quiet fan, and when running at 100%, it's only giving us 43 decibels, which is amongst the quietest. But the decibels can be deceiving, as at low power levels where you typically run it, you can hear both a whine from the motor, known as a PWM whine, common in cheap RC cars, but you can also hear, disappointingly, a damaged brushed motor. I'm not sure if you'll hear it on camera, but you've probably heard before the noise a small electric motor makes when its brushes are damaged. So for noise, it's a C. Quality of the build, look, setting aside that motor noise, it's perfectly fine, a B. However, given I got a damaged one, or maybe they're all like this, I don't know. So I'm gonna have to say D for defective. I can't recommend it if the only example I got was damaged. For price, it's normal cheap. $10 Australian or $6.40 US. It's a B. In terms of special features, well, it's got that LCD display on the front, which is an extra feature for this type of fan. It's flat and packs away nicely in luggage. Other than that, not too much going on here, so a B for special features. Overall score, another hard one. If the motor wasn't damaged, I'd say this was a B, maybe even an A on a good day, but with that issue, or at least an unhealthy motor and the PWM whine, I can't recommend it as I don't know if the others are the same, D. Now, if you did want a fan like this, I'd highly recommend the Xiaomi, which is the original fan of this type and absolute best quality, or the JisuLife, which is a clone, but a decent quality one for a better price. Links in the description for both of these. Both will be included in the battery showdown and in the final scoreboard. Okay, so finally we get to this fan, the Xiaomi Mija portable desk fan. I got this one as Xiaomi is a favorite brand of mine, and I just knew it was going to be good. I actually spent a little extra myself just to ensure I could get this fan. If you're not familiar with Xiaomi, they're basically the Apple of China. Like Apple, they've got fakes everywhere, so if you bought an item that claimed to be a Xiaomi and it wasn't any good, I can guarantee it wasn't a genuine item. You can get genuine Xiaomi products from the Xiaomi store on AliExpress, or if you're in Asia, there's Xiaomi retail stores in most major malls. Okay, so this thing puts out plenty of air, reaching 3.2 meters, about the second longest, with a nice 35 centimeter wide range at 15 kilometers an hour or 9.5 miles an hour. So that's an A for airflow. As for the noise, on the highest setting, it's super quiet at 45 decibels. Background noise, basically. And on the lowest setting, you typically use it at, well, on a desk, you can't hear it, yet it puts out heaps of air. So an A for noise level. In terms of quality, this is the first S tier rating I'm going to give. This is a premium product. It's going to last 10 years easy, and it's going to perform flawlessly the entire time. Just from the weight alone, you can tell it's well made. The orange knob on the front is a clicky scroller. It's very satisfying to use, the rotation is smooth, and there's some tiny little indicator lights so you know what setting you're on. The packaging is typical Xiaomi quality. It's like unboxing an Apple or a Samsung product, even if it's something as mundane as a fan. So yeah, that is an S tier. As for price, it costs 65 Australian dollars or 40 US dollars, which is 3 times more than any fan we've looked at, but boy, do you see the difference right away, and you can guarantee inside this thing is going to be some seriously high-grade batteries, genuine Samsungs or Sonys or something like that. We'll see how well it goes in the battery showdown. Anyway, I'd not consider this cheap, but it's certainly great value. Like I said, it's going to last. I'll give it a B. As for special features, the rotation is the most obvious one. It can be turned on and off by pressing the orange knob inwards. It It has a separate LED charge below on the front, so you know when it's charging when it's finished, and an independent switch on the back. You can turn it on and off, keeping it away from the kids. You can tilt the whole thing down and up, almost straight up. And the bottom is rubberized so it won't slip. Overall, I'm very interested to see how it does in the battery showdown, but as it stands, this is an easy S tier for me. Well above the rest, easily the best portable fan I've purchased, and like my other Xiaomi products, I expect it's going to perform well for a very long time. Now, finally, just before we get onto the battery showdown, let's check out the Ducky fan. These fans are available in a range of animal styles from ducks, rabbits, frogs, bears, and more. It comes with a built-in flashlight, which was unexpected, and honestly, I like it. Great gift for the wife. Whoop-de-doo! Perfect size for kids or a gift, or really anyone who wants a tiny little personal fan to cool down. As for blow factor, it folds out like this. And there are 3 power levels giving us 1.5 meters range with a small 15 centimeters width at a fairly rapid 16 kilometers an hour or 10 miles an hour. So that's a C. Average but expected for such a tiny thing. In terms of noise, as the rule usually applies, the smaller and faster the blades, the noisier it is. And yes, this is a noisy 53 decibels at 1 meter, about what you'd expect. C. In terms of quality, it's actually really well made despite not being a branded product. Not that I can see. Maybe there is a brand on the box. Oh, it says it's a Longda. So it's a Longda mini fan. The plastic's nice and soft. It feels good. And it's got this iridescent shine to it, which just looks awesome. It fits into your pocket when it's tucked away like this. And it folds into a handheld when you need it. So definitely an A for quality. Price, it was cheap. For the quality, very cheap. $7 Australian or $4.50 US. The packaging is pretty typical, but inside you'll find the quality is there. An A. Special features, so the wrist strap is included, and it's also got that iridescent glow, which looks great. The different animal varieties is cool, and the folding away is nice. And the built-in flashlight turns on by holding down the fan button. How cool is that? I didn't even notice it there until I picked it up. The only negative is the micro USB. I'd prefer to Type-C, but that's not enough to dull the charm on this thing. An A for special features. Overall look, for what this is and what it aims to be, it's perfect. It's super cute, it's high quality, it actually works as a fan, even though it's not blowing a huge amount of air, it's enough. It's a built-in torch. For a gift for your wife or girlfriend, or even for yourself, it's an easy B+. So it's time for a battle to the death. Every fan for itself until the last fan standing. And we're off, each fan running at its highest setting. We're looking for the first one to go. And to my surprise, every single fan lasted the full hour at top speed. Not bad. First one to go, no surprises there, the tiny little mini Ducky, which put on a good show at 1 hour and 30 minutes at full speed. Not bad for such a tiny little thing. Link is in the description. Makes a great gift. Shortly after that was my 4-year-old JisuLife at 1 hour and 40 minutes. I mean, given how old it is, I'm surprised it lasted that long at all. At full speed, great little fan, super reliable. I can recommend this one. Link is in the description. That's the JisuLife. About 30 minutes later, at 2 hours and 11 seconds, was the Mini AC, followed by my Xiaomi yellow Ducky fan. Now, this yellow fan I've been using almost daily for a long time, so I'm plenty happy with how well it lasted. But the Mini AC, which is brand new, no excuses. Can't recommend this one. So at 2 hours and 9 minutes came the clip-on fan. If you want a clip-on fan and are cool with adding 650 batteries, link is in the description. Not a bad unit. Next up, at 2 hours and 23 minutes came the NewStyle X8. For a big fan at full power, I reckon nearly 2.5 hours is pretty good. Link in the description, NewStyle X8. The Kinscoter Mini called it quits at 2 hours and 28 minutes. Look, this is one of my favorites of the whole lot. It's cheap, it's well made, it lasted 2.5 hours at full speed, probably triple that on slow speed. This is the best cheap desktop fan, highly recommended. Link in the description, Kinscoter Mini. Also a great showing from this larger Kinscoter model at 2 hours and 34 minutes. For such a big fan pushing a huge amount of air to last that long at full power, I'm impressed. If you've got a large area to cover and want to hang a fan up in a corner or while you're camping, I can thoroughly recommend this one. A good unit, link in the description, Kinscoter Large. And it seems the Kinskoters all stuck together, with the handheld Kinscoter coming in next. So this screaming, ducted, brushless jet fan lasted 2 hours and 38 minutes at full power. Mate, I expected it to last maybe 30 minutes at full power, as this thing is going hard. Really surprised by that, but glad since it stopped shaking my camera so much. Look, this is a great quality, high-powered fan. If you understand it's going to be noisy, maybe you're using it outdoors, or you really want some serious power in a handheld, then perhaps this is the fan for you, as everything about it is top-notch. Link in the description, Kinscoter Handheld. Moving on, and next came the cheap flat fan, 3 hours exactly at full power. My gosh. I still can't recommend it though, as that little PWM motor whine is annoying, and I suspect the motor might be damaged, but it could just be mine, as everyone else's on AliExpress is giving it top marks, 4.7 with almost 200 sales. Apart from that, everything else is great about this one, so maybe I just got unlucky, or maybe I'm just too picky about the noise. Link in the description, cheap flat fan. Okay, and there's just 2 fans left. Can you believe the cheap Haoyunma handheld is still going? It lasted 3 hours and 14 minutes at full belt. Now this is a fan I can recommend. It's perfect. It's well made, it's quiet, it blows hard, it lasts over 3 hours on full speed. You can use it as a handheld or stand it up on your desk, and it's cheap. Far out. That's a good little fan. Nice job, Haoyunma. Link is in the description, and of course my wife has put dibs on this one too. And there's just 1 fan left, the Xiaomi desk fan. What a champion. I suspected this would kick butt, and it did, finishing up at 4 hours and 5 minutes at full power. Xiaomi claim it'll go for 18.5 hours on low speed. So I did another test off camera, and it ran for well over 18 hours. I didn't get an exact to the minute reading, but geez, it just kept going and going. This fan is typical Xiaomi quality. It's going to last a lifetime, and I can 100% recommend this. The complete opposite of the throwaway landfill tech we often buy these days. Great unit, well worth the 60 bucks Aussie or $40 US. Link is in the description. Xiaomi desktop fan. And so that's it for my Mega Fan review. I'd really like to take some of these apart and see what's inside, but unfortunately I didn't have enough time in this video. But if you're up for that, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can release an extra video just to subscribers. And if you're not a subscriber already, help me out. I'm only a tiny channel, so your joining makes a big difference to me. Take care, everybody. Be kind to yourself and be kind to those around you. Yes, the world's a little bit crazy right now, but sooner or later, everything works itself out. Keep a smile on your face, and I'll see you next time.